from the Loft 100 studios. Big Biz Show's on the air. Nationwide, coast to coast, 110 million TV homes, 150 radio stations, and we broadcast TV and radio simulcast, as well as American Forces Network, formerly called AFARTS, American Forces Radio Television Services, now called AFN. 175 countries and all the ships at sea. Big Biz Show on the air. Sully here, Costa there, the Day Trainer Quattro. Wow, see, I threw a couple of them for a loop there. But they're still getting paid.
Keep them on their toes.
Almost.
Keep them
Almost
fresh.
lost a finger on that one, didn't you? It's all fun and games until I start going, and then, little tick.
Resolve.
Resolve. Just a. Hey, I'm so excited because our next guest is actually going to be in studio next week.
Excellent.
Marty Lehr is the CEO and founder of a company called Context Therapeutics. Really important because he's going to be on our show. He's all going to be on Mary Burt Godwin's show, America Trends. And I'm trying to get him on The Hunt as well, if I can get permission from their producer to get them on the air. But we're talking about an unmet medical need for hormone-driven female cancers, and Context Therapeutics is right at the forefront of that. They do happen to be publicly traded under the NASDAQ symbol, and I beg your pardon, CNTX, that's CNTX. ContextTherapeutics.com is their website. And once again, we're joined by Martin Lehr. Martin, how are you, sir? Getting ready to come to San Diego. It's not a big ask, pal. I mean, I realize that it's 70 degrees and perfect might be tough for a guy like you, but I hate to tell you this, I think it's supposed to rain next week.
It is starting tonight.
Sorry about that, but
As it would have it, it happens to be 68 degrees and sunny in Philadelphia. So go figure.
Never happened. Do you know what I'm trying to do? Is I'm going to try to get, I don't know if we can pull it off, but I want to try to get Garrett Stubbs from the Philadelphia Phillies, who's been in the studio a number of times.
Yes.
And in studio at the same time as Martin. Martin, I can't promise it, but we might, if not be able to be in studio, at least hang with him for a minute. And I'm doing that for the diehard Philly and Eagle fan that he is. By the way, I thought about you last night as I was watching the movie Invincible. Fantastic. I can watch that movie every day of my life.
Vince Papali.
Yes, that's exactly right. Hey, Marty, I want to ask you about context for the people that, you're on at a different sort of time every time we have you on, and I do that on purpose so more people can get exposure to who you are. But talk about your ability or your potential to transform treatment for women's cancer with two of your clinical programs for people that haven't heard you before. I'm going to let you take it from right there.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me. As you mentioned, Context is an emerging biotechnology company. We're focused in the area of oncology on solid tumors. Those are different than liquid tumors. And then within that, a primary focus on female cancers, those being breast, ovary, and endometrial cancer. So these are cancers of the female reproductive organs. The hormones estrogen, progesterone regulate those organs, and cancer cells very cleverly utilize those hormones to promote their growth and metastasis. And so we have two programs within Context. One is called ONA XR. It's an oral drug. It's a pill that patients take to block the activity of progesterone. And we combine that in our clinical trials with estrogen blockers. So you basically blunt the activity of both of the hormones, estrogen and progesterone, that drive the majority of these female cancers. That drug, ONXR, is in what's referred to as mid-stage clinical development. It's in a number of phase 2 clinical trials. To give your viewers a sense, that means the drug's been in over 150 women to date. We've seen promising clinical activity, so that means in some cases tumor shrinking or stabilizing for a prolonged period of time. And then the drug has excellent safety, so patients can go about their daily lives without the theoretical burden of losing their hair, losing a ton of weight, tremendous fatigue, etc. So we're really excited about that program and orienting people to a lot of exciting updates for it in the second quarter, which is right around the corner. The second program we have is preclinical. It's called CTIM76. It's a biologic, so this is an antibody that's an infused product. And this is a product that is intended to activate the patient's immune system to attack cancer cells that express something called Claudin-6. Claudin-6 is not on every cancer cell, but for certain patients with ovarian and endometrial cancer, or even lung cancer, they may have this protein and be eligible for the treatment. That program's moving along really nicely, and in about a year, it'll be hopefully in human trials. So 2 programs, different stages, different treatment modalities, attacking the same fundamental issue, which is female cancers.
Hey, Marty, I have to ask, when you say you focus on solid tumor cancers but then specialize on female cancers, does that give us a light of hope or a glimmer that there might be other maladies that that your programs or clinical programs might attack? Could this be a bigger footprint than you maybe originally anticipated?
Yeah, for each drug, it's a little different. So for ONXR, progesterone receptor antagonists, there's certainly promising data in a brain type of cancer called a meningioma. This is typically a very slow growing cancer, but as the cancer grows in your brain, unfortunately, your brain doesn't have extra space, and it can create some really debilitating side effects. So that's something that we could potentially explore down the line. There's also a rare form of lung cancer as well. In the case of CTIM76, there is a very broad use case. So almost every testicular cancer patient would be eligible for the treatment, somewhere around 25 to 30% of lung cancer patients. And then there's many other cancers where it's expressed, but at a lower potential level, things like bladder cancer, stomach cancer, and even a rare form of pediatric cancer called a rhabdoid tumor. So certainly there's additional use cases that we would explore over time. But right now we're laser focused on our primary indications of breast and endometrial cancer, and hopefully driving towards regulatory approval for one or both of those indications over time.
What's next for you guys, Marty? Before we let you out of here, we're going to spend a lot of time with you next week here, so get ready. As they say.
A scary proposition.
Yes, it is a very scary proposition. Well, you get to balance it out with a couple of good shows after our show, so it'll be good. I want to talk. What's next for you guys? Because obviously the clinical trial data we just looked at is very promising. Are you guys doing other research? Are you concentrate on this? How do you kind of navigate the rest of 2023?
Yeah, we're really excited about our 2 programs. They take a lot of time, a lot of bandwidth, a lot of money, but it all goes to a good purpose of hopefully extending the lives of women with these devastating diseases and giving them a high quality of life while they're on treatment. For us, we're really orienting people to the second quarter as the next big, what's referred to as catalyst-rich time period for the company. The second quarter is when there's a number of major medical conferences like AACR and ASCO. And so we look forward to updating the community of investors and clinicians and patients at these future conferences, as well as other opportunities to give insights into our pipeline and progress that emerge over time.
His name's Marty Lehr. Martin Lehr, CEO and the co-founder of Context Therapeutics. Thank you, Martin. Appreciate it. See you next week. Looking forward to it.
Yep.